as we're seeing such accelerated changes in our climate, it's really forcing us to move at an accelerated pace. In order to develop and implement any sustainable solution, you have to have a fundamental understanding of the processes, the theories, the principles that shape the problem. And the same needs to be said for all of the different processes, principles, and theories that can also help shape the solutions. And so our course and its 5 components really tries to help get at that fundamental knowledge as well as applied knowledge when it comes to urban forestry. When I think about what this course is about, I think about the 5 main components or the 5 main modules that any participant is going to move through from start to finish of the course. And so in module 1, we're going to be diving deep into the fundamentals of urban forestry, starting with how do we define an urban forest, and then kind of building on that to link ideologies and principles when it comes to thinking about urban forests and the role that they play in carbon cycling in our cities and how that can be potentially scaled up to global scale impacts on carbon cycling. And then also looking at urban forests and the role that they play in climate change mitigation. Once we lay that foundation, we can then dive deeper into looking at the physiological aspects of urban forests collectively. And so in that second module, that's exactly what we do. That module focuses specifically on the physical challenges and solutions that we are dealing with in and around our urban forests. Now, if you ask anyone who works in urban forestry, what's the difference between urban forestry and traditional forestry? A lot of times you're going to get the same answer. And that answer is that the main difference is the people. Just the sheer number of people that you're going to engage with while working in and around urban forests. And so in our third module, we really work on making sure that folks understand some of the human dimensions of urban forestry. And so we dive into the social challenges and solutions in urban forests in that third module. Now, all of those first 3 modules are really aimed at laying the foundation. Do you understand what an urban forest is? Do you understand ecologically how they function? And with respect to other infrastructure in our cities, what may be some of the challenges to helping to keep them thriving? And then how do you understand some of the social challenges that shape the growth and trajectory of our urban forests? All of that is fundamental knowledge. But at the same time, that fundamental knowledge has to be applied to decision-making processes. And in our 4th module, we kind of shift focus and begin to look at that. We look specifically at urban forest planning. What are the steps for moving through the development of a plan to manage your urban forest? How do you finance those operations? And then how do you then move from the planning and financing stages into real-world implementation? We then close with a deep dive into urban wood utilization, acknowledging that as we move forward with climate-smart forestry, we need to be thinking about the sustainability of the products that may be harvested even from our urban forests. And so as a result, we close out with thinking through how urban wood utilization should be built into some of our urban forest plans and financing goals as we move forward.